All right, so I thought we would do something a little bit different on the channel since we don't see a lot of 1920s baseball. Um, Maybe we're going to do a little bit now. So earlier tonight, I did an APA PC baseball game, and it was the 1949 Browns versus 1949 Indians. But we got into a lot of talk about the 1922 St. Louis Browns. This was a tough team, finished just one game behind the New York Yankees in 1922. So a lot of great players on here, a lot of very good players. So I think this will be a lot of fun to do something with 1922 as well. So we're going to start with opening day, and we're going to be playing the Chicago White Sox. So, of course, standouts in this team to watch through the season is going to be George Sisler, Hall of Famer. And there he is. Ken Williams, an absolute slugger in that year. Baby Doll Jacobson, superb player. So Wally Gerber, Hank Severide. This was a tough team. So, hey, there's Bernie Strom. Bernie, you and I are going to get together tomorrow at some point. I'll just message you on Discord. So anyhow, this is going to be some 1920s baseball throughout the season, along with the other projects that I have going. So hope you guys enjoy it. St. Louis Browns, a pretty good team in 1921, but really hit their stride in 1922, and to hold off a very powerful Yankees team, or to stay pace with them and finish one game back. So, of course, the Giants and Yankees would meet in the 1922 World Series, but we'll see if that will still happen. So this will be the Browns versus the White Sox. We're going to let the AI just do both games. We're going to be doing other teams in 1922 as well, but focusing on the St. Louis Browns, and let's look at the starting lineup. In left field, right field, Jack Tobin will lead it off, batting second. At third base, Frank Ellerby, batting third, Hall of Famer. First baseman, George Sisler, one of the greatest of all times. Sisler would have a monster season this year. Batting fourth, cleanup hitter, dangerous hitter, Ken Williams. Batting fifth and center fielder, Baby Doll Jacobson. Batting sixth and catching, Hank Severide. Batting seventh at shortstop, Wally Gerber. Batting eighth at second base, Marty McManus. And taking the mound and pitching today's game will be Urban Shocker for the hometown Chicago White Sox. Ernie Johnson leads off and plays shortstop. Harvey McClellan batting second at third base. Batting third, Hall of Famer second baseman Eddie Collins. Batting cleanup, Hall of Fame right fielder Harry Hooper. Batting fifth in center field, Amos Strunk. Batting sixth, left fielder Bib Falk. Batting seventh at first base, Earl Shealy. Batting eighth and catching, Hall of Famer Ray Schalk. And batting ninth and pitching, Hall of Famer Red Faber. So Chicago White Sox pretty stacked here. In fact, only one Hall of Famer for the Browns, but what a team they were. So we're on our way to Comiskey Park. We will figure out our camera angles as we go. Let's have some fun. And I don't expect this will have a lot of follow, but I hope some people will enjoy it. I know there's a lot of George Sisler fans in the community. So here we are at Comiskey. And we are about ready to go. Jack Tobin will stand in and lead off here for the St. Louis Browns. In 1921, Tobin with 8 home runs, 59 runs batted in. Red Faber peers in, has the sign from Ray Schalk, and we are ready to get underway. As we pan around Comiskey Park, we'll look at the weather in a few minutes. Some good old-timey baseball, 1922. Here is the pitch. And Tobin sends this one, dumps us into left field, base hit, and we are underway. So the St. Louis Browns opening the 1922 season with a single to left by Jack Tobin. So Tobin aboard and brings up Frank Ellerby. Ellerby's numbers in 1921, 2 home runs, 49 runs batted in. Red Faber on the mound in 1921 for the White Sox, 25 wins, 15 losses, and 1 save. Walked 87 batters, struck out 124, and finished with an ERA of 2.48. For people that think there weren't good pitchers in the 1920s and 1930s, you're wrong. All right, here we go. Red Faber deals. Ellerby gets a good bunt down to first. Tobin's going to make second easily. Sacrifice successful. And the White Sox, or the Browns already with a runner in scoring position. And here is the great George Sisler, truly one of the greatest of all time. He would go on to bat .420 this season, but just give you an idea of Sisler in 1920. 19 home runs, 122 runs batted in, a .407 average. Had a bit of an off year in 1921 with 12 home runs and a .371 average, 104 runs batted in. Sisler, just an absolutely superb player. Excellent contact hitter, brilliant fielder. All right, Faber checks Tobin at second. One down here, underway here at Comiskey Park, opening day, 1922. Here's the pitch. Sisler swings. And easy ground ball to third. The throw across the diamond by McClellan will take care of Gorgeous George. 2 down. Jack Tobin holds second. Here's Ken Williams. Ken Williams, slugger of this team. In 1921, last season, hit 24 home runs, 117 runs batted in, .347. In 1922, Ken Williams would hit 35 home runs and lead the league. Faber deals. Williams sends this one high to center field, but down into the glove of Amos Strunk. Side retired. The St. Louis Browns pick up a hit, leave one in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the first. It's the Browns 0, and the White Sox coming to bat. Urban Shocker in the box, 27-12 in 1921 with 4 saves and a 3.55 earned run average. Leading off here will be Ernie Johnson, the shortstop for the White Sox. Johnson in 1921 with a home run, 51 runs batted in, and a .295 average. Shocker studies the signs from Hank Severide, and here's the 1-1 pitch to Johnson. Johnson cuts on this one, and nice fast grounder to shortstop. No problem for Wally Gerber as he fires on to first for the 6-3 putout. 1 up, 1 down for Harvey McClellan. Harvey McClellan, the first baseman for the third baseman for the Chicago White Sox. In 1921, hit a home run, 14 runs batted in, hit just 179 in limited action, just 63 games for McClellan from the White Sox. The 0-2 pitch. And this one, a looper into left field and out on the grass, making the catch at shortstop is Wally Gerber. So 2 up, 2 down for the White Sox in the bottom of the first. And here's Hall of Famer Eddie Collins, one of the fastest players in the game. Collins in 1921 with 2 home runs, 58 runs batted in, a .337 average. Collins, the lefty, called cocky, was not afraid to brag about his own exploits on the field, and Collins could back him up. What a great second baseman he was. Nathaniel joining Bernie and I here at Comiskey Park in 1922. Severide sets the target. Shocker with the 2-2 pitch to Eddie Collins. Collins swings. This one a roller to second. Routine play. Marty McManus up with it, and Collins is the third out. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. We go to the top of the second inning. Scoreless in Chicago to be Baby Doll Jacobson, Hank Severide, and Wally Gerber. The number 5, 6, 7 hitters do up for the Browns. Baby Doll Jacobson getting his name from a song that was popular of the day. Baby Doll, literally. Jacobson loved the song, and that's how he got his nickname. Shock, also known as Cracker, sets up one of the honest White Sox of 1919. Shock remaining with the franchise. The 0-1 pitch coming in from Shocker, not from Shocker, one of those days. Anyhow, it's grounded to Collins, and just got to let me know some Red Faber. So 1 up, 1 down as Red Faber will face Hank Severide. Severide in 1921, 2 home runs, 78 runs batted in, a .324 average. So good bats in the Chicago team as Red Faber brings the 0-1 pitch. And this one, great spear at center field. Johnson making the pick. Ernie Johnson, excellent defensive shortstop. So 2 up, 2 down for the St. Louis shortstop, Wally Gerber. 2 home runs, 48 runs batted in, a .278 average for Gerber. Shock sets the target. Red Faber, the count even, 2-2. And this one popped and foul ground on the right-hand side, and Earl Shealy will make the catch And nothing across for St. Louis. We are scoreless in Chicago as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Hall of Famer Harry Hooper will lead it off. Harry Hooper, perhaps best known as a member of the Boston Red Sox in the 19 teens. Hooper put up some great numbers also with Chicago White Sox. So Hooper in 1921 with the White Sox, 8 home runs, 58 runs batted in, a 327 average. A superb outfielder, Harry Hooper, and not bad at the plate either. Severide sets up the leather for Urban Shocker, who chose the rubber, winds and deals the 1-1, and the lefty Hooper sends this one up the middle in a diving stop at second by Marty McManus. Beautiful play, 1 down. We're going to look at that one again. Here we go. Little screwball, and a beautiful play there by Marty McManus. All right. Ballparks, of course, courtesy by Mike Silva. Here's Amos Strunk now, center fielder. Amos Strunk in 1921 for the Pale Hose, 3 home runs, 69 runs batted in, a 332 average. So again, good averages all up and down the Chicago White Sox lineup. Urban Shocker has the sign from Hank Severide, the 1-0 delivery to Strunk. And the lefty Strunk swings, hard grounder to second, and a little hesitation there by McManus, but fires on to first base. So 2 away for Bib Falk. Bib Falk, a mainstay of these 1920s and 19 teens White Sox. Falk with 5 home runs, 82 runs batted in, a 285 average. So you guys that play Field of Dreams, if 1922 comes up, you have a couple teams here to look at. These Browns and these White Sox. Shocker with the 1-0 delivery to Bib Falk. Falk swings, and will this get down for a base hit in center field? It will. Chicago with its first hit of the game. So a line drive, and the White Sox have a runner on with 2 away, and Earl Shealy due up. Chicago first baseman in 1929, 11 home runs, 95 runs batted in, a 304 average. Shocker with the signs from Severide, shakes them off, has one he likes. The count of 3-1, swung on in a sinking liner toward the foul line and right, and making the catch is Jack Tobin. Side retired. The Sox leave a runner. We go to the top of the third, and we are scoreless. Opening day, Comiskey Park. Let's check our weather here at Comiskey here on April 12th. 1922, cloudy, some rain in the forecast. Nice day in Chicago, 51 degrees in the south side. The wind coming in from right at 10 miles per hour. All right, here's Marty McManus now looking at his numbers in 1921 in 121 games. 3 home runs, 67 runs batted in, a 260 average for him. Faber, the count full in McManus. McManus looks at ball 4 outside. Low and outside, McManus doesn't even wave the bat at that one. So a runner aboard for the pitcher, Urban Shocker. Shocker, average, a little below average power, a little below average contact. Look for him to bunt here. Red Faber checks the runner, deal. Shocker gets a bunt down. It's a good one. The only play for the White Sox will be to first. So Urban Shocker does his job. We swing around the top of the order. Jack Tobin. Tobin 1 for 1 on the day. The only Browns hit. Faber deals. Tobin swings. Sinking liner. Center field. This is going to get down. Base hit. And over to third is Marty McManus, and he will hold there. So runners at the corners for the St. Louis Browns. 1 down in the top of the third for Frank Ellerby. Faber deals, full count on Ellerby, and Ellerby gets a hold of this one, drilled out to left field. It's going to go all the way to the wall. St. Louis Browns have 1 in. Ellerby is going to have a 2 RBI, triple as the throw comes into third, and he is safe. So the St. Louis Browns starting off with a bang here in the third inning and take a 2-0 lead over the White Sox. All right, here is George Sisler. Sisler, 0 for 1. Faber with a 3-1 pitch to George. Sisler grounds this one hard to second, and up with that ball is Cocky Collins to retire Sisler for out number 2. All right, the slugger, Ked Williams, 0 for 1. Here's the 1-0 from Faber. Popped high in the infield, third base side, and calling for it. And pulling it down is McClellan for out number 3. But the Browns pick up 2 runs, 2 hits, and leave 1. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. The St. Louis Browns 2, the Chicago White Sox nothing. And it will be Ray Schalk, Red Faber, and Ernie Johnson due up for the White Sox. So Ray Schalk, not the modern catcher you would think of. No home runs, 47 runs batted in, a 252 average for Schalk in 1921. Excellent contact hitter. Schalk was a base stealer. We don't think of catchers as being that way. So really it would be starting in the 1930s when you just start to see the prototypes of the modern catcher. Mickey Cochran, and then in the 50s we would see Roy Campanella, and of course in the 70s Johnny Bench. The more power became more of a power position, but not in these days. All right, base is empty, and here we go. Urban Shocker to Cracker Shock, and Cracker, little roller to second. Easy play there for Marty McManus, and they get Shock by about 2.5 steps. 1 up, 1 down for the pitcher, Red Faber. Here's the delivery. Faber swings, and this one just a bouncer to McManus at second. A little bit of a low throw to first, but he got him. So 2 up, 2 down as we get back to the top of the order. And the shortstop, Ernie Johnson, 0 for 1 on the day. Urban Shocker ready to twirl it in. Johnson swings, high sinking liner there to center field, and a diving stop in center field by Baby Doll Jacobson. Beautiful job. So the Sox go in order. We're going to have another look at that play out in center field. So watch this one. Beautiful catch in center field. Covering a lot of ground out there. A spacious center field here at Comiskey. All right. Top of the 4th, and the number 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for the St. Louis Browns. Baby Doll Jacobson, Hank Severide, and Wally Gerber. Jacobson, nothing for 1 in this game. The Browns have managed 3 hits off of Red Faber and 2 runs. Urban Shocker pitching a 1-hit shutout right now as we enter the middle innings. The 3-1 pitch to Jacobson. Jacobson, little number out in front of the plate, should be no problem. As Shock pounces on it, fires onto first, and Jacobson is out number 1. Here's Hank Severide now. He is nothing for 1. The righty steps in. Red Faber with the 0-1, the wind, and the pitch. Lined out his last time. This one grounded hard to short. Plenty of time for Ernie Johnson to retire him on the 6-3 putout. So 2 down here in the top of the 4th inning at Comiskey Park as Wally Gerber steps in the box. Good contact hitter is Wally Gerber. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Gerber, just a little weird bouncer up the first base line. It's going to be close, and they're not going to get Wally Gerber. So Shealy pounces on the ball, fires to Red Faber covering, but it's an infield hit. So Wally Gerber on board for second baseman Marty McManus. 2-0 St. Louis Browns lead here in the top of the 4th inning. This game brought to you by Pennzoil. The 1-2 pitch. And this one, a number out in front of the plate. This could be back-to-back infield hits, and it is. So Marty McManus with the infield hit, and the Browns threatening now with 2 on. Wally Gerber at second, Marty McManus at first, and it brings up the pitcher, Urban Shocker. Shocker sacrificed his last time up, needs to swing away now. Faber deals the count full on Shocker. Shocker swings and a miss at a fastball. Looks like he might have gone out of the strike zone a little bit about that. So the Browns threaten, but they do not score. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. The St. Louis Browns 2, the Chicago White Sox nothing. Thank you for joining me and those joining me later for 1920s baseball, 1922, focusing on the St. Louis Browns, but we'll see some games from the Giants, the Yankees, and some other teams as well, but mainly the St. Louis Browns. And we'll be doing, not tonight, but we'll be doing some readouts of some of these players, certainly George Sisler, Jacobson, so many of these players, and even some on some other teams as we go along too. Again, this very, very strong Chicago White Sox team, and we'll have to look at how they did. All right, Ring Lardner to my left, Huey Fullerton to my right as we continue the game. Severide sets up Shocker to face Harvey McClellan, Eddie Collins, and Harry Hooper. McClellan, nothing for 1 in the game. Shocker has the sign. The 1-1 pitch. grounded out to Gerber last time. This one, a soft little fly ball into right field. No problem for Jack Tobin as he calls off Jacobson and makes the catch for out number 1. So score that F9 if you're scoring at home. And if you are, why are you? Here's Eddie Collins. Collins, nothing for 1 on the day. Collins cuts on this one. Routine grounder to short. Gobbling that up out there as Wally Gerber, and he'll retire, the Hall of Fame second baseman. So 2 away now for another Hall of Famer. Here's Harry Hooper, nothing for 1. Hooper bats lefty, digs in on the left-hand side. Shocker, shaking off Severide, has the sign he likes, the 1-2 pitch to Hooper. Hooper swings, and this is going to be a little bloop single into center field. Harry Hooper aboard. Second hit for the White Sox in the game here in the bottom of the 4th. That brings up Amos Strunk, who's nothing for 1. Hooper on at first. Shocker checks the runner. And this one, line drive, base hit. This was going to go to the wall. Extra bases in the corner and the right-hand side. And Strunk's going to have himself an RBI triple. So runs coming on triples in this game. And the White Sox get on the board in the bottom of the 4th and cut the lead in half. It's now 2-1 in favor of St. Louis as the left fielder, Bib Falk, steps in. Bib Falk, 1 for 1 in the game. So Amos Strunk holding at third base, the tying run just 90 feet away for the Chicago White Sox. The 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. So that is the end of the 4th inning here for the Chicago White Sox. They pick up a run on 2 hits. 2-1 Browns as we head to the top of the 5th inning, and it'll be the top of the order. Jack Tobin, Frank Ellerby, and gorgeous George Sisler. Tobin in the game, perfect 2 for 2. Red Faber threw 4 innings of work as walked 1 and struck out 1. Count full now on Jack Tobin. Here it comes. The lefty swings and a seeing eye single into right field. So Jack Tobin is aboard. And brings up Frank Ellerby. Frank Ellerby, 1 for 1, has 2 runs batted in. Here's the pitch. Ellerby gets a good bunt down the first base line. No chance to get 2. A little underhanded toss onto first. Ellerby picking up his second sacrifice of the season. Jack Tobin in scoring position now as George Sisler steps in, nothing for 2. St. Louis faithful hoping for a lot from the great George Sisler. 2-1 pitch, and Sisler dumps this one into left field. Base hit for George Sisler. Hit number 7 for the Browns. The throw comes in to hit the cutoff man. And Jack Tobin will hold third. Runners at the corners, 1 out for slugger Ked Williams. Red Faber looking for a double play ball right now. There we go. Show our little spray chart. Ken Williams, the lefty, home run champ of 1922, 35 home runs. The 1-0 pitch, and Williams, Park's going to hold this one out into shallow center field, and Ernie Johnson makes the catch. So 2 away, runners hold for Baby Doll Jacobson. Nothing for 2 for Baby Doll. 1-0 pitch, Jacobson swings. High fly ball, right field, camping under it, and making the catch is Harry Hooper. So St. Louis strands 2. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The St. Louis Browns 2, the Chicago White Sox 1. Earl Shealy, Ray Schalk, and Red Faber due up for the White Sox. Urban Shocker with a strikeout through 4 innings of work. The 1-0 pitch coming to Earl Shealy. Shealy swings, and this one just a hard grounder. Nice room service bounce to second. Marty McManus up and over to first to take care of Earl Shealy for out number 1 here in the home half of the 5th. Cracker Schalk, nothing for 1. The 0-1 pitch coming in. Schalk swings, fouled on the third base side, giving chase and pulling it down and making a catch is Hank Savaride. So 2 White Sox up, 2 White Sox down for the pitcher Red Faber. The 0-1 count to Faber. Grounded out to McManus last time. He's going to ground out again to Marty McManus. And the White Sox go 1, 2, 3. We go to the top of the 6th. And the Browns still holding a 2-1 advantage over the White Sox. We had a fun game earlier, the 1949 St. Louis Browns dispatching the 1949 Cleveland Indians 3-2. Ernie Harwell calling that game, certainly doing a much better job than I do. Hank Severide, Wally Gerber, and Marty McManus due up for our St. Louis Browns, the number 6, 7, 8 hitters. Severide 0 for 2 on the day. Schuck sets the target. Faber to deal. Here it comes. Severide grounded out. Last time, first pitch swinging, line drive into left field. This is going to get down for a base hit. St. Louis Browns with their 8th base knock of the game here. Brings up Wally Gerber. He has a hit in 2 tries. Here's the pitch. Gerber gets the bunt down, bunted back to the mound. The only play will be to first. Red Faber fields it cleanly. Severide moves to second on the play. All right, second baseman Marty McManus. He is a 1 for 1. Faber deals. McManus swings. High pop fly in the infield. And right down into the able glove of shortstop Ernie Johnson. So 2 away. Severide holds in scoring position at second for Urban Shocker. 0-1. For the Browns. Ace and Shocker sends this one down the line to right, and a diving stop by Harry Hooper, showing why he's a Hall of Famer. So the Browns leave one in scoring position. We head to the bottom of inning number 6 here at Comiskey Park. 1922. The St. Louis Browns 2, the Chicago White Sox 1. In this game brought to you by Pennzoil. Ernie Johnson, 0-for-2. Severide sets the target, the 3-2 pitch. Ernie Johnson swings to Hopper to third. And up with it, the long throw across the diamond by Hank Ellerby. And Johnson grounds into the 5-3 out. So 1 away for Harvey McClellan. I don't think he's any relation to former Union General and Governor of New Jersey, George McClellan, but we can always pretend that he did, or is, or was related. The 1-1 pitch to McClellan. Routine grounder, 1 hopper to third. No problem for Ellerby as he fires on to George Sisler for out number 2. Here's Eddie Collins, a frustrated 0-for-2 at the dish. 1-1 pitch with 2 down. And Eddie Collins, easy grounder to short. And Wally Gerber, not hurting his throw, will fire to first for the out. So the Red Sox go 1, 2, 3. We head to the top of the 7th. The St. Louis Browns here on opening day holding on to a 2-1 lead. And here's Jack Tobin back at the top of the order for the Brownies, followed by Frank Ellerby and George Sisler. Of course, the Browns would move to Baltimore in the 1950s and become the Baltimore Orioles. Ray Schalk sets the target. Red Faber, a strikeout and a walk through 6 innings. Faber still a lot of gas in the tank, and certainly the same can be said for Urban Shocker. Nice little pitchers duel here. The St. Louis Browns scoring 2 runs in the 3rd. Chicago White Sox answering with a run of their own in the 4th. Count even at 2 to Jack Tobin. The lefty swings, and this one just lifted to left and right into the glove of Bib Falk. Rain holding off so far here in Chicago as Frank Ellerby steps in. Hot corner man, 1 for 1 with 2 runs batted in. Could be in line for the MVP should the St. Louis Browns hold on and win this opening day in the south side of Chicago. The 1-0 pitch now to Ellerby. Sacrificed his last time up, swinging away, routine grounder to first, and Earl Sheeler will take that to the bag unassisted. 2 away here, and the visitors' half of the 7th. That brings up George Sisler. Sisler 1 for 3 in the game. Sisler, first pitch swinging, hard grounder up the first base line. This is going to get in for extra bases. Sisler has serious speed. Let's see if he goes for 3. Sisler indeed is going for 3. The throw hits the cutoff man. The throw to third, and not in time. George Sisler with the triple despite the strong throw by Harry Hooper. So a little bit of insurance what the St. Louis Browns hoping for was Sisler just 90 feet away, and it brings up cleanup hitter Ken Williams. Ken Williams, 0-for-3. Faber with the 2-0 delivery from the stretch. Williams sends this one high to left field, but it's not going to be enough. Bib Falk backpedals and reels in that fish for out number 3. The Browns strand a runner just 90 feet away. 7th inning stretch time here at Comiskey Park, Chicago, Illinois. And it's the St. Louis Browns 2 And the Chicago White Sox won. Again, I know that 1920s baseball is not going to be the strong suit on this channel, but I think this will be a fun team to learn about, these 1922 Chicago White Sox. And of course, the 1922 St. Louis Browns, with whom we'll be focusing. But looking at these batting averages of the White Sox, we'll probably see a lot of them this season, too. All right, bottom of the seventh we go now. And it's going to be the number 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Harry Hooper, Amos Strunk, and Bib Falk for the Chicago White Sox. Severide sets the target. Urban Shocker with a strikeout through 6. Shocker with a lot of gas in the tank. Has thrown only 61 pitches as we enter the bottom of the seventh frame. 2-2 pitch now to Harry Hooper. Hooper cuts on this one, and just a little number to first. And fielded cleanly over there by George Sisler, and underhands on to Urban Shocker for the 3-1 putout. So 1 up, 1 down for the center fielder, Amos Strunk. He has an RBI, 1 for 2 today. The count 2-2 on Strunk. Doubled his last time up. Big swing and a miss. Screwball coming in there from Urban Shocker. Second strikeout of the game for him, and 2 away. And here is Bib Falk. I'm thinking here it's Bernie hanging out here with me, and hopefully Nathaniel's still with us. All right, Bib Falk 1 for 2, 2 away. The 1-2 pitch struck out his last time up, and Falk, little soft liner out towards short, and Wally Gerber pulls it in, and that is it. The Sox once again go in order. We go to the top of the 8th inning. In 1922 here, it is opening day. St. Louis Browns leading the Chicago White Sox 2-1. It'll be Baby Doll Jacobson, Hank Severide, and Wally Gerber. All right, Baby Doll Jacobson, nothing for 3 in the game. Flew out his last time up. And this time, sinking liner into right. More like a little bloop liner, I guess, if there's a such thing. So that's the 10th hit for the St. Louis Brown. Jacobson is aboard for Hank Severide. The catcher has a hit in 3 tries. Here's the pitch. And the runner goes. The throw down will not be in time by Schock. And Jacobson picks up his first steal of the season. Let's see. Pretty good speed out there for Baby Doll Jacobson. Let's look at his stats. In 1922, he can expect it. Looks like he stole 36 bases. Or no, I'm sorry, stole 19 bases. Was caught stealing 6 times. Again, pretty good averages all up and down the line here. Pretty good hitter for Baby Doll Jacobson. As a matter of fact, a lifetime 311 hitter. So not too bad there. Not too bad at all. All right, let's get back to game action here as Hank Severide is in the box. The 1-1 pitch, and this one outside, and it looks like they're going to walk him. So looking for the potential double play here in the top of the 8th. And here's Wally Gerber. Wally Gerber, 1 for 2. Will he oblige? Red Faber. The 0-1 pitch. The bunt is down. They're not going to turn 2 on this one. Smart sacrifice play. 2 runners now move into scoring position. So nice job there for Wally Gerber getting his second sacrifice of the day. And it brings up Marty McManus. McManus 1 for 2. So the situation thus far, Hank Severide at second, Baby Doll Jacobson at third. St. Louis Browns trying to pad this 2-1 lead. Ray Schock sets the target. Red Faber from the stretch. The count full to McManus. And McManus, line drive, base hit, left field. And that's going to drive in a pair. And St. Louis now with a safer margin. It is 4-1 St. Louis Browns. And here we go. All right, 1 away, runner at first. Marty McManus picking up 2 RBI right there. And here's Urban Shocker, nothing for 2. 1 out. See if Shocker's going to try to move the runner to second. And he does, gets the bunt down, bunted back to the pitcher. Faber's only play will be to first. Marty McManus moves into scoring position at second. And we're back at the top of the order. Jack Tobin having a superb day here on opening day. 3 for 4. We do have some St. Louis faithful that made the trip here to Chicago. Faber brings it, and this one scorched line drive, base hit, right field. Fielded by Harry Hooper. Strong throw toward the plate is offline up toward third. Jack Tobin with an RBI single. And the St. Louis Browns have picked up run number 5. 5-1 here in the top of the 8th for the Browns as Frank Ellerby strides the box. 2 RBI for Ellerby today. So the third baseman seeing the ball well from the great Red Faber. Faber getting hit up a little bit here, giving up 12 hits, 5 runs. No errors for either team. Count 2-2. And this one is going to bring rain. High pop up in the infield out towards second. But it's going to be shortstop Ernie Johnson calling off and making the catch, calling off Collins. St. Louis Browns do some serious damage here as we head to the bottom of the 8th. It is 5-1. And it's going to be Earl Shealy, Ray Schock, and we'll see if Red Faber will pitch for himself. Urban Shocker, of course, staying in the game. Shocker would eventually be a New York Yankee. Shocker ready to deal to Earl Shealy. Earl Shealy, nothing for 2 today. The count, 1 ball, no strikes on Shealy. Shealy cuts on this one high, this one far, this one deep, and this one is gone. Second row. And so for the Chicago faithful here on opening day, a home run by Earl Shealy, 377 feet. And the Chicago White Sox chipping into this Browns lead. It is now 5-2 as Carlos Yaz, Christopher Slovic joining us here at Comiskey Park on opening day 1922. All right. Nearly reset history with the 19. Yeah. These Red Sox were a good team. Or White Sox were a very, very good team. All right. Show you a little feature that's nice in out of the park baseball once we get through this game. Here's Ray Schock now. Cracker, nothing for 2. Urban Shocker now enjoying a 3-run lead, but getting touched up by a home run from Earl Shealy. So let's see how he recovers from that. Severide sets the target. Count full on Ray Schock. And Cracker swings, sinking liner to left field or center field, and baby doll Jacobson making the diving catch in center field. Let's give it a little love out there and look. Jacobson can cover a lot of territory out there in center, and he's got it. Beautiful sliding catch. All right. 1 away now for the pitcher, Red Faber, and looks like Faber will bat for himself. 2-0 pitch. And Faber swings. And this one just a little Texas leaguer into right field, base hit. So Chicago picks up hit number 5. 1 out, 1 on for the shortstop, Ernie Johnson. We're back at the top of the order. Johnson hitless in 3 attempts against Urban Shocker. Shocker deals the 0-1 pitch. Johnson sends this one blooped into left field, base hit. Here come the White Sox now, trying to get something going in the bottom of the 8th. 6th safety for the Chicago White Sox. 5-2 your score, 1 down. Runners at first and second. And we have a pinch hitter now. Johnny Mostill will pinch hit. Looking at Johnny Mostill's numbers in 1921. So this is his major league rookie year. Mostill with 3 home runs back in 1921. 42 runs batted in, a 301 average. Played in the AAA. What we would think of now as AAA minor leagues back in 1921. Shocker deals the count full on Mostill, and Mostill sends this one high to left field and down into the glove of Ken Williams. Ken Williams not seeing a lot of business out there in left field. 2 away, 2 on for Eddie Collins, who is nothing for 3. You can expect Eddie Collins to do some damage, though, this season, certainly. 2-2, and Collins sinking line drive to center field, and nice catch out there by Jacobson. However, the Chicago White Sox do pick up a run on 3 hits, no errors. They strand 2. We go to the top of the 9th. The St. Louis Browns 5 and Chicago White Sox 2. The line for the Browns 5-12-0. For the White Sox 2-6-0. It'll be George Sisler, Ken Williams, Baby Doll Jacobson due up for the Browns. Sisler, a left-handed batter. Certainly this is somebody who we want to we're going to be highlighting a lot through the season. So one of the players that successfully made the transition from dead ball into live ball, and you can see almost on cue. Sisler has a couple, 4 double-digit home run years. Certainly not known as a home run hitter. 102 lifetime home runs, but look at this: a 340 lifetime batting average, 375 stolen bases. He didn't strike out a lot either. He's excellent on base. His OPS lifetime is 126. A career high 1920, an OPS of 194. In 1920, he hit 407. And this season, 1922, he hit 420. So a great player, George Sisler. So we'll be highlighting him a lot as we go through this 1922 project. Back to the game. Sisler 2 for 4 on the day. And every sim that I play where Sisler is on the opposite team, he always does a serious damage. All right, here we go. Red Faber, the 2-2 pitch to Gorgeous George. Sisler swings, hard grounder, 2 bounce short. Gobbling that one up is Ernie Johnson, and he will fire on to first for out number 1. Earl Shealy taking a bit of a low throw there by Johnson, but it's still an out. Here's Ken Williams. Nothing for 4, another player that we'll talk about. So Ken Williams, just really quickly looking at his real-life stats. Again, in 1922, he hit 39 home runs. I kept saying 35. So Ken Williams, 196 home runs lifetime, double digits in home runs from 1920 through 1927. He played from 1915 to 1929. For Ken Williams, a lifetime 319 hitter. This guy was no slouch, had some speed, 154 lifetime steals. In 1922, he stole 37 bases, was caught 20 times, though. His OPS plus pretty much stayed average at 100 all the way down. Season career high for him, I should say, would be 1921, but an 8.5 WAR. So it's a very strong team, this 1922 Browns we'll be talking about throughout this project. Who knows how long it will last or how long it will take to finish, but it's going to be fun. Also doing 1967 on here and some other stuff coming up. So Sisler and Speaker, 2 of the most overlooked players of all time. Carlos Yaz, I couldn't agree with you more. I would say of the 2, Sisler probably even less well known, and yet what a brilliant baseball player was George Sisler. Of course, Tris Speaker still the all-time leader in doubles and the only player in Major League history to, in the same season, have 3 20-plus game hitting streaks in one season. So, kind of surprising, though, the all-time doubles that Speaker still holds that record all these years. Sam Crawford's lifetime triples record is never going to be broken, but you would have thought after all these years, there's a lot of doubles in baseball. They're pretty common, but Tris Speaker, I believe, 792 lifetime doubles, and he is the leader still. All right, back to game action. Ken Williams, a disappointing 0 for 4, would like to contribute to this seemingly imminent, shall we say, perhaps imminent, St. Louis Browns opening day victory over the Chicago White Sox. Here we go. Flight out his last time. Williams swings, and this one's just a weak little grounder to short, but this one booted out there by Eddie Collins. So Collins picks up his first error of the season, and Ken Williams is aboard. And Ken Williams has some speed. Here's Baby Doll Jacobson, 1 for 4. Jacobson making some beautiful plays into center pasture today for the Brownies. Here's the pitch. Jacobson swings. He's going to dump this one into right field for a base hit. Ken Williams runs right through second into third. Close play at third, but he is in there. Jacobson takes second on the play. 1 out. The Browns with 2 in scoring position. Ken Williams at third. Jacobson trailing him at second. And here's the catcher, Hank Severide. He has a hit in 3 tries. Just 1 away. Faber from the stretch. And they are going to walk him. So the bases are loaded, looking for the double play here. And here's Wally Gerber. Wally Gerber, 1 for 2. So we'll see if this risky play here by the White Sox pays off. The 1-1 pitch to Wally Gerber. And Wally Gerber grounds to short. They'll throw home. And they will get out number 2. And I set these guys to wear high socks, but I must have missed something, so I'm going to have to fix that as we go along. All right, bases loaded still. Here's Marty McManus now. So Red Faber and the White Sox breathing a little easier when they get to the bottom of the ninth, still within striking distance of the Browns. Here's the pitch, and this should end the inning. High pop fly on the right-hand side in foul territory, calling for it. Can of corn, Earl Shealy. So the St. Louis Browns leave them loaded. We head to the bottom of the ninth. St. Louis Browns 5, Chicago White Sox 2. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for the Southsiders: Hooper, Strunk, and Falk. Mulligan staying in to play third base, Eddie Mulligan. So Johnny Moss still did his job as a pinch hitter, and now Mulligan in there at the hot corner. Harry Hooper 1 for 3 today. Urban Shocker with 2 strikeouts, looking for an opening day victory here in hostile territory in Chicago. The 0-2 pitch. Hooper with a single in this game, and this one a gapper to left, and this one off the wall. Hooper going for 2, and he's going to make second easily. No need to slide there, Harry. So here we go. Potential run number 4 comes to the plate, and Amos Strunk already has an RBI today. He's 1 for 3. Hooper, decent speed at second. The 1-0 pitch. The runner does not go. High pop fly on the infield. So Shocker, 2 outs away from an opening day victory. Wally Gerber pulling that one down, 1 away. Here's Bib Falk, 1 for 3. Urban Shocker deals. Falk sends this one soft liner out to left field and right into the glove of Ken Williams. So 2 up, 2 down. Chicago down to its last batter. Earl Shealy has a home run in this game, 1 for 3 overall. Here's the 2-1. Shealy swings, soft grounder to short. Wally Gerber had trouble getting a handle on it, but gets it, and that is your game. And boy, look at this. We got In Control Hit Machine, 5-star catch. How about that? So the St. Louis Browns being featured in this 1922 project win opening day. So opening day festivities have begun throughout the league. Fans of the Chicago White Sox were eager to watch Red Faber square off against Urban Shocker, the visiting St. Louis Browns. In the end, the Browns won the game 5-2 with Urban Shocker leading the way. Shocker, who finished 5th in the American League in strikeouts with 107 in 1920, went the distance for St. Louis, gave up 2 runs on 7 hits. The Browns got a big at-bat from third baseman Frank Ellerby for the game. Ellerby was 1 for 3 with a triple, while adding 2 runs batted in the top of the third with runners on first and third. He stroked a 2-run triple. This will be his first triple of the season, obviously, and gave St. Louis the 2-0 lead. St. Louis never relinquished the lead, but St. Louis chipped away a little bit. So for the St. Louis Browns, 5 runs, 13 hits, no errors. Chicago White Sox, 2 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. Your player of the game is Urban Shocker. Time of the game. In game time, 2 hours, 24 minutes. And here, just 48 minutes. Urban Shocker, 9 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned, struck out 2, gave up a home run. Red Faber, 9 innings, also 13 hits, 5 runs, all earned, walked 3, struck out 1. Let's leave the game. And there, look at this. We got a couple 5-star plays here. How about that? And Hit Machine and In Control. Gotta love it. All right, so Jack Tobin 4 for 5 in this game. So, and Shocker pitching a tough game. So really, really good here. One thing I want to show you for those of you that are doing any sort of project, except for tournaments and things like that, when you and this really immerses you. So when you get out to league history, the nice thing about this is it will take you back. And so any records in baseball are only going to go up to that year in which you were playing. So in this case, We're just up to 1921. And so what's cool about that is when you sort of look at milestones. Okay. So we see here that Tris Speaker, his milestone for 1922 will be 2,500 hits. He's 85 hits away. So neat things like this that no other baseball game really has that I love. So for hits, we can go down here a little bit. So RBI, let's look at Tris Speaker again. He's 13 RBI away from 1,000, as is home run Baker and Eddie Collins. So both zeroing in on 1,000 RBI. Pretty cool stuff. Stolen bases. Here we go. So Eddie Collins, closing on 600 steals. He's just 4 steals away. Clyde Milan, 495 steals. So I strongly urge you to check out the history section of Out of the Park Baseball. We can go here. And so these are records. So if you wanted to just look at, records up to the season that you're replaying, you can do that. It is so cool. I mean, I just absolutely love this. So we can see here, of course, all the hardcore baseball fans know this, that at that time in 1922, Babe Ruth is the all-time single season leader in home runs with 59. Chief Wilson with 36 triples, Delahanty with 59 doubles, Wee Willie Keeler 206 singles. So a great way to immerse yourself in baseball history. And for those of you that are thinking about getting involved in the McGreevy League when it happens, and you have Out of the Park Baseball, one great way to study these players, and a lot better, I think, than other baseball games out there, is, I would say, make your season 1920, and you can start looking at record holders and who's hitting thresholds and that, if you're not familiar with dead ball in 19th century baseball. But since we are going to, including 1929 when it happens, I would say start a 1930 project, but you immediately have the history here, and maybe some players here you've never heard of that will be in McGreevy if you decide to draft them. But I do love this. The other thing, of course, is league news, which is really fun. Not much in the old newspaper yet, but all this really generated very nicely. You're going to get things like top 10 100 prospects in the league. So we see some names here: Gabby Hartnett, Jim Bottomley. We've never seen some of these guys in any of our leagues yet. There's George Grantham, who there's Kai Kyler, Travis Jackson, a Hall of Famer. Brilliant stuff. So we see here that Big Miller, he says, hits the weights in the off season. So just nice little stories here. Getting to be great friends with the gym this offseason. The Philadelphia Athletics center fielder who's put on 15 pounds of muscle and is hoping it translates to a lot more home runs. Said Bing, every day I feel myself getting stronger, and I know that strength will translate on the field. I can't wait to get out there and show what I can do. It's really one of the beautiful things about this. We get a little story here about Joe Sewell. Today's the day Joe Sewell will be happy to forget about having made multiple errors in today's game. Look, I know I'm not the best fielder in the world, but today was just embarrassing, Sewell said following the game. I'll definitely be doing some extra defensive work in the coming weeks. I really want to become a better defensive shortstop, and know I can. So even though we changed it to Indians, it's still using the term Guardians. But really fun stuff. And I would also remind you, one of the new additions to Out of the Park Baseball 25 is player development, and that works even in season replays. But make sure that you set for career play. I'm doing this in a strict replay mode. But let's say you were playing this in a career mode and you see that Sewell's talking about this. Well, maybe you want Sewell in the off season to work on his defense or whatever. So the player development thing is really cool. Maybe I'll put together a little project to just to show that off. So definitely look into this. But again, I think the history is just super, super cool. Of course, you got all these game logs and everything like this. But it's the league history that really, really takes you into it. So cool. Starting at 1871, and this will go up to 1921. So there you go. So I don't know. Will White. Yeah, Will White. We can just look up Will White and see if we can find him here as far as retired players. Let's have a look for Will White. Yep, there he is. There he is. So this will also have everybody in baseball up to this point. So again, something that obviously Action PC doesn't do, and I don't think even the other games that do come with all the seasons. So I'm thinking of Baseball Mobile, Dombrov Baseball, Diamond Mine does it, but you have to go to, or not Diamond Mine, Digital Diamond does it, but it like links out to Baseball Reference. Everything's contained here. So there he is. He played from 1877 to 1886. Will White was a pitcher. Look at this, man. So kind of rough for him in 1880. He was 18-42, but then in 1892 was 40-12, and the next year 43-22. So 229, 166 for him. There's a picture of Will White. We can look at some real. There we go. So he retired from baseball in 1886. So we can look at Babe Ruth. And again, we can look at Babe Ruth two different ways, his entire career or just up to 1921. There he is. There's the Bambino. And there. So unless we go to his real life stats, right now, what you're going to look at is as if you were reading a newspaper in 1922 and looking at Babe Ruth stats. And there you go, 1917, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Here's that development tab. Let me show it to you really quickly. But before we go to that, one thing that we will do in the Greavy League for the few of you hanging out here, there's a lot this program, and not knocking Action PC. Great stuff. But this is really, really cool. You cannot do this in Action PC Baseball to this level of a player. So you could set, like, do I want Babe Ruth to be more of a base stealer? Work on his, want to be a conservative or aggressive base runner, hit and run, sacrifice bunt for hit, things like that. The depth chart settings here per player, they're deeper. And hopefully Action PC will do that. But I want to show the development thing here really, really quickly. All right, so the way this works, you'll notice I can't move these sliders up. I can't. And that prevents you from making a super player. I can hit the plus sign, doesn't matter. So let's say I want to work on Babe Ruth's defense, maybe. So I have to sacrifice elsewhere. So if I cut back on this, you see, this is like an RPG type thing. Now I'm starting to get some points I can spend. Now I can have Babe Ruth work on his offense if I wanted to do that until I run out. So it's really, let's just set everything back to default. So I would suggest for those of you that are doing career-based season replays, really develop this. Really look at this. This is really super cool. This player development, this is new to Alapark 25. So there we go. You can ask the AI to set development focus per player. Just so much that you can do with this. But I do love the fact that you can just look at baseball as if you were in just that year. And right, so there's no Lou Gehrig yet. We do Lou Gehrig. We're not going to find Lou Gehrig yet because he wasn't retired. He wasn't in baseball. So imagine being able to have Baseball Reference, but just up to the year. And I think that makes replays a lot more meaningful. Let me show you what I mean. Let's go to the start screen. I'm going to show you something else. So Carlos says, love the action games, but really dislike the, yeah, they are a bit of a memory hog. Let's load. So let's go to the 2015 Pirates. I'm not going to worry about that. Let's go to the 1965 Twins. Let me show you. I mean, just why I love this feature so much. Because you want to, you kind of want to, at least for me, as you're creating this narrative, you want to kind of situate yourself, I think. Right. So my owner's worried at the moment. You'll live, dude. I mean, we won 7-3, beat the Yankees, beat Whitey Ford. And this is my thing to get more education about 1960s baseball. But again, we go to this history. All right, let's look at milestones. Okay. So again, here they are. And this gives you a better sense of where these guys were in their careers, right? So Eddie Matthews, and I think this is 1966. So Eddie Matthews closing in on 450 home runs. Of course, he hit more than that in his career. So he's 5 away. Where's Ernie Banks? Where's Frank Robinson now? Frank Robinson, he's closing on 300 home runs. Wow, he hit a hell of a lot more than that. So fun stuff here that you really ought to check out. It's great. Rocky Colavito needs 95 more riddies there. So we can look at all kinds of course, there's a Legends Gallery in here. And the Legends Gallery is more like a Hall of Fame type thing. So let's let it do its thing. Creating baseball cards. So there we go. And what you will notice here is this is not the complete Baseball Hall of Fame. This is just up to, and we got to fix this picture, George Wright. It's the wrong George Wright, obviously. But this is not the entire Baseball Hall of Fame. This is the Baseball Hall of Fame or what have you, these legends up to 1966. I'd like to show you league leaders right now, but it really doesn't make any sense to do that. We can look at voting history for the Hall of Fame. And again, it's just going to be up to where you are. So if you load in the 2024 season, you've got it all here. And again, you have it in certainly in Baseball Reference, but I think it's cool that it really does it this way. The league leaders, what I've noticed within what am I thinking of? Action PC Baseball. Let's go to League Home. Is that they've kind of done, they've kind of taken a page from this and adding to it, which I really think is kind of cool. That's pretty much it. I do want to do a lot more on Out of the Park 25. I do think that this is a worthy upgrade. Definitely. So looks like we got some games going on here right now. So let's see here quickly what we got. Or will have. So Red Sox, Senators. So right now I'm going to be kind of just doing some opening day stuff. Cubs beat the Cardinals. Pirates beat the Giants. And the Pirates beat the Giants in real life tonight, too, by the way. Back-to-back home runs in the 10th. Yay. So fun stuff. So hopefully you guys will enjoy some Twins from 1966 and then just a general 1967 season. It'll be fun to see these 66 Red Sox. And, of course, the 67 Red Sox. But you see a couple guys here like Felix Mantilla and stuff who we won't see, I don't think, in 67. And, of course, the other beautiful thing about Out of the Park, it's always had complete minor leagues. So you could actually go in and replay minor league seasons. It's the best baseball game on the market. It is what it is. Anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoyed our little foray into 1922, and those of you who were here earlier enjoyed the 1949 broadcast. And I'm just going to keep on motoring. And again, want to get with Bernie. You're welcome, Bernie. So I do want to get with Bernie at some time tomorrow. I don't know what you guys are doing in Field of Dreams, whether you're playing tomorrow or basketball or baseball or whatever, but certainly I know I missed last night or the other night, wasn't able to do it. So if you don't have action or out of the park baseball, I strongly urge you to pick it up. It's just great. It is really just, I love it. And I bought it every year, and so much you can do. This thing it's filthy what it can do. All right. Thank you, Carlos. Take care. Bernie, thank you for coming in. Chris Slovic, the man and the myth, the legend, Nathaniel Lentz was here. Bernie, first in the ballpark. So once again, the St. Louis Browns win opening day in Chicago, 1922, 5-2. Until next time, guys, see you around the batting cage. Good night.